The Descendants takes place in Hawaii and tells the story of Matt King, a real estate lawyer and a father to two girls. Matt manages the land trust for 25,000 acres of property on Kauai that he and his cousins inherited from Hawaiian ancestors of royalty. Before the trust expires in 7 years, Matt must decide whether to sell the land for further development or preserve the legacy his family has left for many generations. At the same time, his wife Elizabeth goes into a coma due to a serious boating accident and prompts him to reconnect with his troubled daughters, Alex and Scotty.
I don't like eggs.
Reflecting upon his behavior as a neglectful husband to Elizabeth, he later learns of her plans to divorce him for a man she had an affair with, whom, coincidentally, is involved with the land purchase.
How'd you get the nerve to ask her out? Was it about the deal? Is that when you decided she was for you?
No, it's not what you think.
Struggling with the decision to give up his family's land, his daughter's problematic behaviors, and marriage issues with his comatose wife, Matt makes adjustments in his life in an effort to provide what's best for his family. The Kings are part of a single-parent family, considering the absence of Elizabeth. Matt King is the only adult who holds authority. Being the father to two girls, he is legally responsible for the upbringing of his children as a single parent. Therefore, he carries out the duties of a caretaker, financial provider, and the discipliner. Matt fulfills some expectations of being a single father. For example, the fact that he's very devoted to his job, even to the point of neglect, approves of the workaholic stereotype. He also felt uneasy about Alex and her guy friend being all touchy-feely during the family trip, and even the fact bringing her guy friend along with them. But he also defies some of those stereotypes. He showed that fathers are still able to provide basic care towards his kids, such as cook meals for them. He also showed that he performs household chores just as well as mothers would. Alex is the 17-year-old daughter of Matt and Elizabeth. Being the eldest, she takes on the parental role of caring for her younger sister Scotty. Evidently, she executes the stereotype of being a teenager very well. She's rebellious and often does things against her parents' wishes, such as drinking and taking drugs. That is assumed to be one of the reasons why she has come to bad terms with her parents. She also has a short temper and often uses swear words. Alex argues with Scotty as well, and scolds her whenever she disapproves of things she does. Scotty is the 10-year-old daughter of Matt and Elizabeth. She's the youngest member of the household. She also takes on stereotypes of being a child. For example, she often asks random questions about her surroundings, which shows her curiosity of the world, like a lot of other children. She is also easily influenced by her older sister. She has flipped her middle finger up a couple of times and even blurted out curse words. Being a typical preteen, she also has showed interest in fitting in with cooler peers. At one point, she felt the need to prove herself when her classmate Reina didn't believe that her mom was in a coma, so she brought her to her mother's hospital room to show evidence. The Kings evidently faced a lot of hardships throughout the movie, but their support for each other was enough to fulfill some needs in terms of family function. In this case, we will be referring to Matt's immediate family. Firstly, the responsibility of reproducing children has been taken care of by Matt and Elizabeth. Together, they have two daughters, 17-year-old Alex and 10-year-old Scotty. Next, the family is assumed to attain the needs of physical care. However, Elizabeth is an exception because she is on life support due to the boating accident. Because of this, Matt is prompted to shift his concentration from work to direct care for his children. He makes time to either prepare meals for the kids or take them out to eat. Matt is also known to be one of the state's largest landowners in Hawaii, so they have more than just a roof over their heads. That being said, Matt is primarily in charge of the economic function in his family. He works as a real estate lawyer in Hawaii and is very devoted to his job. In fact, He even admits that his neglect for his family is due to his work. Because of his lacking presence in the family, he struggles to assert discipline and control the behavior of his daughters. Alex is rebellious and often uses profanity to express herself. Scotty bullies other kids and sometimes blurts out vulgar words from Alex's influence on her. Despite this difficulty, he proceeds to be emotionally committed as a father to his kids and fulfills the affective nurturance function. Especially after hearing upon his wife's inability to survive, Matt is motivated to retreat from being the backup parent and be there for his kids. Alex also executes this function by comforting her sister and helping her father resolve the situation with Brian Spear, her mom's lover. Matt also carries out the socialization family function. Though he initially wasn't as involved with his family before Elizabeth's accident, he still has a fatherly desire to raise his children in a moral and ethical way. He mentions how he didn't want his children to grow up and spoiled and entitled, like his own father said. At first, he wasn't treated with much respect by Alex and Scotty, but later on they show their love and appreciation for him as a father. Alex also contributes to this function whenever Scotty does something indecent or morally unacceptable, like when she had to prove her mother's comatose state when her classmate didn't believe her. Despite the difficult changes they had to go through, the King family was able to suffice some of the family functions. In the Descendants, the Kings demonstrate how the family system works. They show that the behaviors of each family member are not understood solely as individuals and that they are interdependent of one another. This illustrates the family systems theory. In Miss Haler's words, this theory explains the complexities of family interactions and the factors that influence decision-making, goals, stability, and patterns of family life. The family system is composed of 8 principles. Interdependence. This principle suggests if a member is off balance, it affects the rest of the family. Quite evidently, Elizabeth King's boating accident greatly impacted the whole family in many ways. Because she is in an unconscious state, Matt instantly had to carry out double the roles and responsibilities as a single parent to care for his children. The Kings also felt emotionally burdened without Elizabeth's presence, especially for Matt, when he finds out from Alex that his wife has been having a secret affair and isn't able to discuss with her about it. Also, during a heated argument, Alex reveals that her mother's affair is the reason why she has come to bad terms with her. Scotty, on the other hand, brought her teacher's attention and concern at school when she used quite disturbing pictures of her mother at the hospital for her project. Wholeness. This principle suggests that a family is not just individuals living together, but rather as a part of their family unit. The Kings' interdependence on each other proves the fact that they function as a unit. For example, problems in the life of one member can also mean problems in the life of another. When Alex tells her father of her mother's affair, she helps him address and resolve the issue with Brian Spear, the man Elizabeth has been cheating on Matt with. Thus, the entire family, along with Alex's guy friend Sid, goes on a mission to find Brian. Patterns. This principle suggests that patterns and behaviors emerge in families to regulate them, which is unique to each family. It's hard to say whether the Kings execute this positively. Especially at the beginning, Alex perceives her father as if he were a child in terms of his parenting skills. She often gets away disrespecting and cursing her father. She was even able to persuade him into inviting a guy friend to a family trip, saying she would be more civil when he's around. This is probably due to Matt's parenting style. His way of asserting discipline in his kids isn't very effective because his daughters wouldn't take it seriously. He even admits that the last time he took care of Scotty was several years ago and asked Alex for help because he doesn't know how to deal with Scotty's behavior. He hasn't been very involved with his daughters as a father due to his strong devotion of his work, so that made quite a lasting impact in this family. Reciprocal feedback. This principle suggests that one member's actions elicit another member's reaction. When Matt figures about Elizabeth's secret affair, he rushed angrily to their friend's house to learn more about the story. This also prompted Alex to be supportive and help her dad find Brian Spear to face the issue. Equifinality. This principle suggests that families share goals that influence behavior. Matt has mentioned that he didn't want his daughters to grow up entitled and spoiled, despite the wealth that they have inherited. He quotes, "You give your children enough money to do something, but not enough to do nothing." Therefore, he makes sure to treat his daughters sparingly and promote the importance of having a good character. Entropy. This principle is an exchange between separate family systems and is the use of external information to change system and resolve chaos. The mission to find Brian Spear is an example of this concept. The Kings intend to contact him not only just to learn the details of their affair, but to also let him know that Elizabeth already has a family. They also have the decency to give him an opportunity to say goodbye to her, for Elizabeth's sake, because she loved him. It was a civil way of resolving chaos and relieving stress in the family. Homeostasis. This principle suggests that families desire to remain stable over time and respond to variables creating change. Elizabeth's accident motivated Matt to become a better husband and father due to his lacking devotion to his family and fulfillment of his role as a father. He previously admitted that he hasn't spoken with his wife practically in months due to marriage issues. He states that once she wakes up, he will quit his job, give her everything she wants, and become a better husband and father. Adaptation. This principle suggests that patterns must be adjusted to enable the family to function over time. After Elizabeth's accident, the family is forced to adjust their life without her as a wife and a mother. Matt is left as a single parent and has to take the duties that Elizabeth supposedly had and care for his children.